Hello and welcome to week 9 of English 120. This week you're going to be reading to the end of book 1 in the Valley of the Moon. You're also going to review chapter 3 of the Bedford Researcher. You're also going to have a conversation on book 1 of the Valley of the Moon. Your research journal will continue your work on developing your research prospectus by developing research questions and preparing to write your research prospectus. And finally, your research prospectus will be due on the 24th on next Tuesday at 11:59 p.m. So this week, what I'd like you to do by Saturday at 11:59 p.m., please answer the following questions about the first book of The Valley of the Moon. Who are the main characters and what has happened to them in book 1? Please use evidence from the text, that means quotations, to support your answer. Describe Saxon's characteristics, both physical and mental. Now that Saxon is a married woman, do you think she will end up as unhappy as Sarah? Why or why not? Use evidence from the text to support your answer. Describe Billy's characteristics, both mental and physical. Billy refers to his silk throughout the book. This is a way for him to talk about his physical strength, which would be lost if he kept prize fighting. Use evidence from the text to support your answer. Who are Bert and Mary, and how are they different from Billy and Saxon? You might also want to talk about another side character, Charlie Long. How is he different from Billy? How did he treat Saxon differently than Billy did? Talk in detail about what you predict will happen next in the book. Finally, write 3 in-depth study questions about the first book. After you've created your own post, please respond to at least 3 of your peers' posts by answering all 3 of his or her study questions. Please use evidence from the text to support your answers. I've also included a list of study questions for the last part of book 1. You may not use any of these study questions as your research questions for your conversation this week. These are only meant for you to better understand what you're reading. This week, we're still continuing to work on our research prospectus, which will be due at the end of the week. Here's a review of what is expected of you for this assignment. It's also posted under the assignment in this week's content. For this week's research journal, I'd like you to complete 2 more My Research Project Reflections, this time from Chapter 3 of the Bedford Researcher. Please complete Generate Potential Research Questions, which is found on page 43. You'll see that there are sample research questions for all of these types of these categories of research questions found on pages 44 and 45. You should generate at least 10 to 20 research questions. You don't have to make one for each category, and you can see on page 42 there's an explanation about what each category is. And as I said, the sample questions are on the following pages on page 44 and 45. Once you've generated all these questions, these sample questions about your topic, you should think about which are the 3 that are the best ones that you could write a research paper from. Then circle those and then complete, or you don't have to circle them, but write them down and complete the exercise below. Complete craft-focused research questions on page 46. Of the Bedford Researcher. There's also a tutorial on page 49. Basically, this will help you refine your 3 research questions so they'll be ready to include in your research prospectus. Comp class this week. I think you're all going to be very happy about this. I know there was some confusion last week, and for that I apologize. It's catch-up week. That means that since there was some confusion last week, you guys get all of next week to catch up. All of these comp class assignments are open, so if you haven't completed them, or if you've completed them only once and gotten less than 100%, you can take the quiz again to get up to 100%. So now's your chance. These things will close at the end of the week, and it's a good idea to catch up on these since it is 10% of your grade. Alright guys, that's it. After this week, we will be going on spring break. I will post, next week will just be a reading and comp class assignment. And then when we return, we will begin on book 2 of Valley of the Moon, and we'll start with our annotated bibliographies. So I hope you guys have a great week. As always, you guys do a great job asking questions. Just please remember, if you do send an email on the weekend, there's a bit of a delay for me to get back to you. Try to send your emails by Friday so that I can try and get back to you during the school week. Doing a great job. You're going to turn in some great prospectuses. If you have questions about developing your prospectus, please stop by my office on Monday or Tuesday next week, and we can further discuss it. I also wanted to let you guys know, and I will also put an announcement about this. There is a on Monday at 9:30 a.m. on campus, I will have 2 Jack London scholars coming to my classroom. That's in room 1738 of the library. You are more than welcome to come. This is my face-to-face English 120 class, and they are doing the exact same work that you are doing. And these people are coming in. I'll set up an announcement about it, like I said, but I just want to let you know in the lecture. Look for the announcement. It'll tell you all about who they are, when they're visiting, and please feel free to come to our class and listen to their lecture. I'm trying to get it set up so I can videotape their lecture and post it for you, but that hasn't been set up yet, so I do want to open it up to you. If you'd like to visit the class, they are great resources. They are, like I said, internationally known Jack London scholars, and you can use them as sources in your essays, in your research essays. So it's a good idea if you are writing on anything related to Jack London to come with some questions that you might want to ask them. Alright guys, that's it for this week. I look forward to seeing you guys online, and don't forget to look for that announcement.